Adamawa State, located in the northeastern Nigeria, with a catchment population of over 4 million people, is one among the states that have been ravaged by Boko Haram, the consequent effect of which has rendered many homeless and in abject poverty, thereby making women and children vulnerable to food security challenges. This menace, perhaps, is source of concern to Proact project funded by European Union, implemented by Oxfam and Cruden in Adamawa State.
So our visit to the local governments that Proact has acted was very impressive based on the testimonies of women and farmers that were involved in the project. That is why at the moment we are really strategizing to see how the state government can take ownership and then start a project, continue from where Proact has stopped in the remaining local governments.
According to the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Agriculture, Adamawa State, Dr. Dishi Kobe, Proact project implemented by Oxfam and Cruden, supported by European Union, has been of tremendous assistance not only to the people, but to the state government.
Because of the progress we saw in the conduct of their activities, I've been part and parcel of the activities. They training of our extension agents. You know, due to resources, states cannot train extension agents much. But Proact actually took the pain of training our extension agents about 3 times yearly. Presently, a training is going on our extension agents. That alone has built a very strong confidence from the state as regards to Oxfam.
This is because the Pro-Resilience project has relieved the burden of poverty alleviation and job creation through agricultural investment, farm inputs distribution, training of communities in modern methods of farming. Proact project as a pilot in Adamawa State was implemented in Fofore, Guyuk, Song, and Mubi South local government areas. The Pro-Resilience Action Project, Proact intervention, is aimed at improving food security and livelihoods of 40 rural communities of Adamawa State.
I see that as something very important. It's remarkable because not many projects can do this. They don't have the power of replicating themselves this quickly. It's also remarkable, to see that the project has generated more than €1 million in cash, to continue with the systemic change is pursuing for the population even after the end of the project. It's remarkable to have a project doing something like that from the replication standpoint. By the end of the project, what we're going to see is you're going to see some of the building blocks of the project have already been replicated for about 3 years, by the time the project closing.
In Bobini village of Guyuk local government area, beneficiaries laud the performance of Proact in the communities, especially in the area of provision of farm inputs, seedlings, and other supportive services. Labaga Ezekiel is one of the benefiting farmers of these projects. He reveals the fact that even as a university graduate, he is able to establish himself in the business of farming, which Proact has helped to boost. Today, he is able to produce over 160 bags of rice per hectare.
Before the intervention of Proact, I have been into farming for 2 years before the coming of Cruden. But Cruden has changed my life. It has improved the quality of my activities in so many ways. Before it came into reality, I was not able to farm up to a hectare of land. But with the introduction of Cruden to the community, I'm able to farm more than a hectare of land. And why I'm able to do that is because Cruden gives me fertilizer. Cruden, I can access loan through Cruden, of which through that loan, I'm able to pay my workers in the farm. I'm able to use that money to buy some herbicide in order to improve the yield of my farm.
Considering the dynamic nature of social strata and social economic activities of many communities in the state, the project strategically through Village Savings and Loans Association, VSLAs, empowered 13,835 males, as well as 18,821 females. This indicates that a total of 32,656 persons benefited through the formation of 1,500 groups. In addition, 1,050 VSLA formed in the local governments, replicating the Proact project.
With the coming of the Proact, things have changed. Proact project, we call it like a project of demonstrating possibilities. With the committed staff that we have in the field, and also experience, and also the support from the stakeholders, especially the government officials, and also the traditional rulers and then the community partners, were able to achieve a lot in the field. People that don't have access to agricultural input now can access fertilizer before the rainy season. For the farmer to start rainy farming activities, he wants to get this input timely. So in Proact, we did that, and this has resulted to increase in the production or in yield these farmers are actually harvesting from their farms.
Similarly, the project, through its unconditional cash transfer, reached 1,620 less privileged indigents, whereby 937 females and 683 males benefited.
I think the most important, that what I like the most, is the participatory approach. The community owns the program. And I think this is very important here in Nigeria. We need down-up approaches, because very often the communities are left alone because they need to find ways to sustain themselves, become more resilient. So, and little by little, we have addressed not only food insecurity, but we have managed to increase production. So this is what I call the Oxfam model. And what is very important is that food banks have been created for communities, and they can draw food from the food bank in the lean season when they are affected by a shock. For example, if they have to leave, there is a family member that passes away, so, and they cannot harvest, they can use that, and then they pay back. And I think this is a very, very good model. Another thing that we know that it happens very normally in Nigeria, especially for the small whole farmers, that they are the majority of the population. We should not forget that now we are on more than 100 million Nigerians living below the poverty line. Through cash for work, storage was provided for communities. It was one of the issues they had, that after harvest, grains were wasted. The little grain that they are producing, they were wasted. I had as well the opportunity to visit a farm school, and it was very nice. And an opportunity as well to remind the government that farm schools, they have to be organized and run by the extension workers. And of course, this is another issue in Nigeria, because we are not here. We cannot, as that donor, replace the government. We need to work with the government and our partners, but it's very important that the government responds to those needs, like the need to increase the number of extension workers.
The European Union funding is primarily for catalytic action to demonstrate possibilities that we can use the small pot of fund that we have to demonstrate, to test ideas. And then from the results that I imagine from these ideas, we would expect that these ideas will take root, and then we can expand the scope of possibilities to other communities, to other people, to other local governments.
As the project worked closely with the communities to strengthen participation and equity for a robust economic growth, members of households engaged is up to 1,871, among which 934 were males against 937 females through cash for work. Payments were made to members of communities associations for constructing grain banks, roads, toilets, and others, as agreed with community leaders to indirectly create alternative sources of income for the rural dwellers, which today, in turn, has helped many escape the pangs of hunger, as they are able to sustain their livelihoods without resorting to any negative strategy as a result of non-availability of food.
For me, I believe strongly that the community has a role to play in terms of sustainability. It's true that government can support. It's true that other NGOs can support. Yes, NGOs have done the foundation, have laid the foundation. I believe strongly that going on forward from here, we can work with the communities and insist to them that government is not giving money, but that they should sustain this project going forward within the community. Look, these VSLA groups that have been formed, they should not stop meeting at all. They should continue to meet. They should continue to contribute funds and buy shares among themselves and give loans to themselves, and eventually they will grow. And then we have moved on from the VSLA to the VSLF, which is the VSLF Federation. I believe also that if we monitor these groups well and we build their capacity in leadership, in the areas of how sustainability can be achieved, I think to a large extent we will do well to ensure sustainability. Again, we can say, okay, from time to time, perhaps we can link them up with other organizations so that they can benefit from other capacity building, other even sources of funding that can also support them. I believe also that will ensure sustainability.
This unprecedented increase in yield and quality of agricultural commodities by the beneficiaries of Proact project implemented by Oxfam and Cruden in ADAMAWA State therefore called for critical thinking to create market linkages with off-takers such as Guinness Nigeria, where in 2018, 28,102 kilograms and 26,543.16 kilograms of sorghum was bought from Guyuk local government, resulting in the empowerment of 32 females and 144 project beneficiaries, respectively. Rabiu Hamidu is a member of Mitriking Village Savings and Loan Association VSLA in Mawa village of Gude community. He is one of the beneficiaries of Proact project, both farming skills training and has milling and dehusking machine given to him by Proact.
EU, Oxfam and Cruden assist us. Before, I am zero level. Even what to eat to me is problem. Talkless to my parents that depend on me. They assist us with fertilizer to produce food crops to ourselves. By then, I am producing a food that is not up to what I will eat me alone, talk less of my parents that depends on me. With that now, I am now producing a food crops that not less than 30 bags to satisfy myself and satisfy my parents' needs and even my neighbors. Now from zero level, now I become a multi-millionaire in food production. So, and apart of that, now EU Oxfam provide machine for us. That milling machine, it works with 2 people. When the work is many, you will get 3 employers a day. And this one, we are using 2. So you know now, by zero now, I have a minimum of 5 employees under me.
Furthermore, the project found it pertinent to strengthen the food value chain through the provision of grinding, milling and dehusking machines to 40 people, whereby 11 females and 29 males benefited. Similarly, 5,089 members of VSLAs in respective benefiting communities were trained in various income-generating activities such as soap making, hand sanitizer, Vaseline, and small businesses comprising of 2,548 females and 2,541 males. Falaye Usman, Oxfam Governance and Influencing Coordinator, Proact Project. He says a lot of mobilization has been going on, especially amongst government policy key actors. As a result, there has been a great improvement in budget allocations to agricultural sector.
With the tight support and collaboration with government officials, we've been able to deliver the Open Government Partnership for ADAMAWA State. We've also been able to promote a new way of inclusive budget system through the Community Development Plan. Interestingly, at the local government level, we're currently leading the first of its kind a social investment and empowerment program policy at the local level, which gives the local government an idea on what to do or how to do or what to exactly engage communities on in terms of poverty eradication and social protection intervention.
Olumide Ojo, Resilience and Private Sector Engagement Program Manager. He says Proact project has impacted tremendously on the agricultural productivity of the people in the state because farmers are now more knowledgeable in modern methods of farming.
The impact of all of these has been a tremendous increase in productivity. The level of productivity has risen from about 34% when we came in to over 153%, especially looking at value chain, commodity value chain like rice, sorghum, and maize. So, I mean, the productivity has tremendously increased. Also, farmers have become more knowledgeable about agricultural practice. And now what we have in rural community is that we now have farmers who are extensionists by themselves. So they are taking the knowledge from their own location, from their communities and villages to neighboring communities and villages. So it means that knowledge is spreading, within the rural areas. And the idea of producing for market so that you can benefit from the opportunities in the market is also getting deepened.
Fuda James's story is slightly unique because the upliftment by Proact has changed the entire outlook of their house. She is a member of Kaptama VSLA and involved in farming as well. The transformation is so drastic and the family is happier today.
Even the house, you see it there, because I sell the half and my husband bring the half, we combine it and we build the house with it. And I buy freezer with the savings. I will saving it in our saving loan association. I buy freezer with it, and I buy swim machine with it. So I want to thank Crudan, EU, and Oxfam because the work they have bring it to us.
Another critical component of the project is the sustainability on exploration of the Oxfam and Crudan intervention in the area. In this regard, Guyuk Local Government Council, as well as other local government councils, have put in place strong committees known as the Community Development Management Committees, CDMC, to manage and to ensure continuity of the program in various villages.
I was appointed as the chairman of the CDMC so that we will sustain the program. That is, the community is now having courage to improve contributions.
Baba Amna Dungus is the village head of Banjaram, who has kept track of developments in the Proact for long. He says initially there were skepticisms from the people concerning the authenticity of the project, but today the story has changed.
We have over 90% of recovery of the food loan. That is very, very encouraging. I cannot say it's 100% because it is not. But definitely over 90% of the loan we take comes back, so that others will also gain from it. This aspect has also shown the impact of what Oxfam is all about in our village here in Banjara. I think I will always enjoy to belong to this kind of program that will always encourage people to live together peacefully. You have a source of money, you have a source of food, you are comfortable. You are comfortable. That has made us feel enhanced in our life.
Consequently, the dramatic impact and achievements of Proact project in improving livelihood of many communities became a site of attraction to 7 additional local government areas in the state, thereby adopting the replication of same Proact initiatives in 50 rural communities. These communities are found in Numan, Mayobelwa, Gombe, Hong, and Maiha, just to mention but a few. Over 26,250 people from 1,050 VSLA groups made up of 11,050 males and 15,200 females reached.
The progress that we see in our people, sincerely speaking, I cannot mention it, because some of them were into farming, some of them were into rearing of animals. So as you are rounding up this program, you are not rounding up this program in my own local government, because my own local government, this program is a continued program to them, because you have impacted a lot in my community.
Mr. Moses Alago is a field officer of Proact in Ribadu and have facilitated the formation and mobilization of VSLA, which has greatly impacted on many women.
Here we are in Ribado community of Fofore local government, standing amazed at my Alforma VSLA group. We're here to observe their weekly VSLA service. As you can see, they're all set and ready to begin their service.
Speed 1 is the May Alfarma group. Aisha Abubakar is the chairperson of May Alfarma group. She presides over the operation of the group, which contributes and shares out at the end of the year.
Da aka zo aka yi share out, kudin da bai da sosai kam, 578 na farkon share out dinmu. Na biyun kuma mun samu kudi sosai sabili da mun ji dadin kuma mun san daɗin kungiyan yanzu. Mun koma shedin mu 200 har zuwa ma yanzu kan muna ta tunani mun sake fasawa yanzu za mu koma ko 500 don me yasa muna da sana'a mun samu kanmu mun waye kanmu yanzu akwai Oxfam muna karɓar lence muna sana'a da shi kuma yanzu har muna da jarin kanmu. Kowace mace a nan tana da jari akalla 20,000 kam ba zai gagare ta ba jarin kanta. Ina ta same shi a dalilin Oxfam. Ko?
In addition to this, the systematic collaboration with key actors of the project, 811 village agents were trained, which attracted 533 males as well as 278 females to continue farming and supervising VSLAs, whereby bicycles were provided to each mobility challenges in the communities. Mr. Damien Matthew is the Proact Desk Officer in the Ministry for Local Government Affairs, in charge of advising government, especially local governments, on vital issues of governance.
They started by building our capacities and building the capacities of even the rural dwellers, those that are going to benefit from the project. They build their capacity in producing their CDPs. They build the capacity of the government actors, those working in the local government areas as the community development officers and the directors of budget. They've started producing their CDPs, which is a very good one.
Over the years of implementation, the project has successfully created a momentum for vulnerable people to transit progressively out of poverty and hopelessness to a position of active economic existence in which they can be in control of those issues affecting them.
The community development plan was developed by community members, where Cruden and Oxfam, with funding support from the European Union, have trained community members, CSOs, and government officials alike, so that communities will be able to come up with their specific needs based on context through the use of community development plan templates. And we have achieved a lot of success in that regard because communities' capacity have been built. They were able to filter their basic needs in terms of agriculture, education, infrastructure, water, and so on and so forth, using the templates.
They enlighten us so many things, what we're supposed to do in our community. So first of all, I gather my community, I enlighten them on what I heard, how we can do to achieve so many things. So they accept it. Then we said, what is our need among this, what we're supposed to do? But they agree, we should, first of all, let us start with the roads, because we don't have a good road.
Finally, there is no doubt that the expansion, adoption, and replication of the project to additional local governments is a sign of successful implementation and the attainment of the project's set goals and objectives, and also speaks of the fact that sustainability is ensured by local government key actors in Adamawa State.
Thank you.